Chris, just to kind of kick it off for you, make it easy. What for your career and your faith, how has those two kind of intersected in your life?
You know, it's funny. I was one of six kids, and as a child, you know, Adam 12 was, you know, that was my thing, and so the Lord put that in my heart. You know, I think He gives us the desires. Those desires He puts within our heart, He grants us because they're His desires for us. And you know, I had a desire for law enforcement, and I'd walk around the living room preaching to empty chairs and sofas and what have you. Nobody's in there except me and a Bible walking around. And fast forward, and the Lord opened both those opportunities. But you know, I became a police officer first, and you know, it was during the course of that I had backstory. At the age of 10, I became addicted to pornography. By the age of 24, I'd now been on the police department 3 years, and I decided. You know, I could lie to anyone and everyone, but when Seth, our first child, was born, I couldn't lie to him. And so that's when hope was gone. And over the course of about 6 weeks, I went to 8 suicides. And Satan began to dull my mind as to the value of life. And so finally, the last suicide I went to, I'm going in the townhouse. I hear the gunshot. I rush to the bathroom, force my way in the bathroom, and this 18-year-old kid shot himself during a surprise birthday party thrown for him. And I'm looking at this, you know, seconds after he did it, and you know, that doesn't look too bad. I mean, that's how Satan, I mean, just how he can just get inside our head. And so I said, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And, you know, by the grace of God, Anne-Marie and Seth was gone. He was an infant. They were gone. Went to the grocery store. I sat on the bed, took my gun, first put it in my mouth and the side of my head, and I'm getting ready to squeeze the trigger and just hear a voice. There is hope. That's all I heard. There is hope. Name of my book, There is Hope. And put the gun down, and 3 months later, I found that the source, the author, the very essence of that hope, Jesus Christ. And so that's really when my faith entered into my, you know, policing equation.
So you were like 24 at the time?
24. Okay. 24 when I accepted the Lord, and totally changed my life. I went on 700 Club in uniform to tell about my testimony, the nearly committing suicide, and how God moved in uniform. Didn't ask anybody, didn't ask for permission. I just went there. Yeah. Found out later that was a no-no. But what it did was...
Easier to ask forgiveness than permission,
exactly.
Right, brother?
Exactly. But it totally removed the fear of, I mean, it became known in the department.
Sure.
This guy was this Christian nut.
Right.
This Jesus freak guy. So from that point on,
you were the 700 Club.
Everybody knew where I stood. And so opened up a lot of doors. A lot of guys came to me that were in difficult things. A lot of mockery but so my faith that it was sort of forged in that fire. And later on, I would have opportunity. Tim, you know, our church at the time, is Pastor Santel asked if I'd come and help him. And so, yeah, my faith has allowed me to not just see things as, you know, a third party, which you see a lot as a police officer in the city of Norfolk, but to experience heartaches and you know, just situations that are either going to drive you closer to the Lord or will drive people away from Him. And He was gracious enough to me and patient enough and loving enough that He allowed those things to just draw me closer.
Now, let me jump in because, so Tim, Chris was your pastor for several years, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so they met at the church, over in Virginia Beach or
No,
Newport
it was
News?
In Norfolk.
Norfolk, I'm sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
forgive me. All right, got it. So they've known each other for a long time. I'm the newbie here.